Hi guys, hope everyone is doing well still and hope everyone is staying inside and social distancing and staying safe. Today in science, we are going to learn about how the Earth's surface changes quickly. So there are some disasters, unfortunately, like earthquakes, volcanoes, and floods that quickly changed the earth. As we know, when Hurricane Ike, well, you guys, I don't think you guys were born yet, that was in 2008, but Hurricane Ike came through Houston. And it was a really big hurricane. I remember being at my house. It was super scary. And I heard a loud noise and it woke me up. And I went to go see what it was. And unfortunately, my neighbor's huge tree fell on my house and it went through half my house. Luckily, we were on the other side, so we were safe, but it was very traumatic for us. Unfortunately, we can't control what happens like that, but we also had a flood during Harvey, and you guys got to witness that and see all of the disaster it caused. So unfortunately, these things happen and it's out of our control. There's nothing we can do about it, but we can take precautions, okay, and we can prepare ourselves for these. So this week, we are going to talk about earthquakes, okay? I made some vocabulary cards, okay? I have earthquake, volcano, and a flood, okay? So an earthquake is shaking of Earth's surface that can cause land to rise and fall. Okay, so a lot of this happens on the coast, like the West Coast in California, because what happens is the movements under the Earth's crust is what causes an earthquake. Okay, they usually occur where two pieces of crust meet, so like the plates meet, and the pieces may push together. Okay, they may pull apart or slide past each other. Okay, and so that's how earthquakes are formed. In Texas, we don't really have a lot of earthquakes that occur here, but in California, there's quite a bit. Okay, and then on other places on the other side of the world, it happens a lot as well. Okay, our next one is volcano. A volcano is a mountain made of cooled lava, ash, or other materials from eruptions. Okay, so an example of a volcano would be Mount St. Helens in Washington State. Okay, it was one of the highest mountains that had a volcano erupt. Okay, the eruption sent more than 1 trillion pounds of ash across the United States. So it was really, really huge. Okay, many plants and animals that lived on the mountain died, unfortunately. Okay. A volcano they're like earthquakes. They are caused by movements of Earth's crust. In some places, one piece of crust slides under another, and this causes the rock underground to melt. The melted rock is called magma, okay? And then when it erupts, it is called lava, okay? So it moves upward and then it reaches an opening, okay? And it'll erupt onto Earth's surface. And it also causes a lot of damage as well. So a lot of plants and animals and things like that around it, unfortunately, will die because the lava is so hot, okay? And then our last vocabulary word is flood. A flood is a change that happens when streams, rivers, or lakes get too full and overflow. So we saw that here during Harvey, okay? And it caused a lot of flooding, okay? And so we weren't able to go to school for 2 weeks because of all the flooding, okay? So entire towns can be damaged. Many plants may die, and animals have to find new homes because everything is underwater. Okay. So what I want you guys to do this week is you're going to do pages 283 all the way to page 294 in your science workbooks. So it should look like this. So I want you to think about this question while you're reading. It says, these used to be living plants in the picture on the front, but now they are dead. The ground is covered in ash. What might have caused these changes? So I want you to look at the picture carefully on page 283, and I want you to think about, is it an earthquake, a volcano, or a flood that would cause ash to be all over the ground? Okay, and I want you to write your answer on the lines, okay? And then you are going to write your vocabulary words at the bottom. As you're reading, I want you to look at the active reading. And on page 284, you're going to underline the clue word that signals a cause, okay? And please don't forget to underline your vocabulary words as you're reading. On page 285, you guys are going to use the map of the United States to answer the questions. On page 286, you guys are going to highlight or underline your vocabulary word for me. And I want you to look at active reading. It says, as you read these 2 pages, circle signal words that show a sequence. So remember, signal words are words such as then, as, after, next. It tells you things that are happening in a sequence, okay? And then on page 287, I want you to look at the bottom. It says, what happened here? So you're going to look at the pictures. It says, study the images above in order to investigate how Mount St. Helens has changed the land around it. Summarize the changes below. So I want you to read the captions that are by the pictures. And then on page 288, it says, as you read, underline the main idea about each big change. Circle details that tell more about each idea. So remember, the main idea is what the thing is mainly about, okay, like the general idea. So it talks about a forest fire. So I want you to underline the main idea about forest fires and then circle the details that go with it. Think about a flood, okay, it's one of your vocabulary words. Please make sure you highlight it. You're also going to tell me the main idea about floods and underline the details that go with it. Okay, on page 280, it's time for you guys to do math. So you're going to skip count by 5s. We all know how to do that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. Okay. It says the Smith River overflows its banks after at least 30 centimeters of rainfall in one day. Rain is falling at 5 centimeters an hour. How long will it have to rain before the river flows? So I want you to count by 5s, okay? And then I want you to count how many 5s that you added together, and that will give you how many hours, okay? All right. On page 290, it says, be prepared, planning ahead. So I kind of talked about that a little bit, okay? For hurricanes, we definitely have enough time to be prepared and plan ahead. Unfortunately, earthquakes happen so suddenly that we don't have enough time to prepare for those. flooding we do. Okay. So I want you to read about this, and then on page 291, you're going to read the emergency list. Okay, at the bottom it says packing to prepare. Draw and label some supplies you would pack for an emergency. So you can kind of draw like an emergency kit and then draw some things and label them what you might have in case there's an emergency. Like think about a first aid kit. Think about what you might have inside of a first aid kit. And then on 292 is sum it up. And for sum it up, you guys are going to use the words in the word bank. You have drain, ground, water, lava, ash, volcano, flood, earthquake. What you guys are going to do is you're going to draw a line to match the picture with each description. Okay, and then you're going to fill in the blanks with the words in the word bank. For page 293, you guys are going to do a crossword puzzle. It says use the words in the box to complete the puzzle. So you have flood, forest fire, volcano, magma, earthquake, mudslide, lava, and crust. So I want you to read the clues carefully and then fill in the crossword puzzle with the correct words. And then on the last page, 294, is apply concepts. It says, suppose each environment shown went through the events listed and you investigated the environments afterward. What might you find? So there's flood, earthquake, and forest fire. Okay, so it gives you a picture for each one. Okay, and so I want you to think about what might happen in the picture if there was a flood. Okay, and then I want you to write about if there was an earthquake, what would happen in the picture. And then if there was a forest fire, what might happen in the picture. And I want you to do the same for the other picture. Okay, there's two different pictures here. Okay, if you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. Have fun doing science.